Alright. I have at least this time made it so that the chat thing will work.
Okay.
Aiden, you sound very quiet.
Hold on.
I will hold.
Boo. Is
You
this...
sound he sounds the same to me. We dealt with it earlier.
Okay.
You may need to boost up his
He's at
total
200%
volume
for me.
Okay, never mind.
Yeah. So.
Give me a second. As I said to Boo earlier,
Yeah.
I may be back, I may not.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright. Hello, Draken. Hello, Timothy. Yeah.
Here we go.
This is... What's up? Well...
Don't have the Yeti for tonight?
Yeah, the old mic.
Oh.
If anything, I mean, he could just probably boost himself in voice and video, probably.
Yeah. There we go.
Look.
I'll watch together.
I thought there was... Yeah, you can... when he comes back, I'll...
Yeah.
Know. Well,
What the hell was the watch together channel? Oh, there it is. Man, we got so many fucking channels.
We have a few, yes. Hello. It has not changed, but if you go into voice and video in Discord and just adjust your output volume, that might actually just fix it just fine.
Voice and video, output volume. Here is 150%.
Speak more.
Here's 150%. How do I sound?
You only sound slightly more. Keep going.
Here I am at 200%. I'm currently maxed out.
Wow.
I'm not taught. Well, I'm also like not really projecting either. Sorry. I should probably project more and talk more conversationally.
That is better. Though maybe
I did also move the mic closer.
Yeah. It is better.
Let me try choking way the fuck up.
Okay.
How does this sound?
That's much better. My God.
Yeah.
Wow.
Holy hell. Although you do sound like you are like exactly in my fucking ear.
I'm gonna turn you down a little bit now. That's good.
Oh, okay. What about that?
That is perfect.
That's much better. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. Oh,
never change your fucking settings ever again.
Absolutely
please.
Perfect. Actually. Absolutely.
Yeah. Give me a second. I've just got some stuff to change with like my setup here.
Yeah. No worries.
So I will be back shortly.
Okay.
Yep.
No worries at all. Cool. Yeah, the microphone that he has is like the one that I used to have, so you kind of need to be closer to it.
Yeah.
So, hey, fair enough.
It's literally the best he's ever sounded in the entire time that I've known him.
That's why I bought him the microphone.
Yeah, because I don't know what the fuck it is with you guys and your sound.
It's always, I mean, mine's been fine because I keep using this mic. I mean, or the same type of mic. I mean, I've never had a problem. I just, I know how to do my sound fine. It's just he hasn't had an actual streaming mic for forever. He's had the old Blue Yeti that I gave him back in a long time ago at this point, like 5 years ago at this point, right? So yeah. Well, sound levels be like that sometimes. Yes, it is true. Hello everybody and welcome back to TableTalk Discussion and Discourse. I, as always, am your host, Alejo, aka Grado95.
Yeah, and I'm the other one.
That's
I'm playing something.
Yes. And the other one will be here again shortly. So. Hey Alejo, Patreon idea. I would love a video on how you got your sound down so good. Dude, I don't know. But sure, I would love to show you my settings. Absolutely. I can do that. I can go through my OBS settings and I can go through what I've got on Discord and everything. Yeah, I can do that. Easy enough. But yeah. Well, while we wait for Aiden, I suppose I will inform you. If you haven't read the title yet, though you might have, we are going to be talking about skills yet again. Skill time, woohoo! And one of the videos is actually one that Aiden recommended a while back here, which will be the second video of the evening. The first one being one about upgraded skills for DC-20. If you guys remember DC-20, it's the system that was made by the Dungeon Coach that is supposed to be an improvement on D&D. At least that's how it's marketed in a lot of different ways through his videos. And this one especially is called, where is my title here? Upgraded Skills in TTRPGs. So it's even broader this time, talking about TTRPGs in general. DC-20 RPG Skill Mastery by the Dungeon Coach.
Jesus! So many fucking sandwiches!
Sure.
Sorry.
So, you could say this episode is a skill issue. Could be. Yes. Very well could be. Now, I am interested, of course, as to how how we have upgraded skills and such, you know? We will see how it goes. There is no Shin, there's only Chara. Hello. And hello, Shin. Hello. Yeah. We will see if there's an improvement. We will see if there's anything that we might want to cannibalize as we do with our TTRPG playing. You know? That Sonic game you guys were playing last month was fun. That is why video game movie videos are a thing. Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
It's definitely a game. But, you know, I feel like Sonic the movies were more inspired by the older ones. I mean, obviously, that one hadn't come out yet. That Sonic Frontiers hadn't come out yet by the time the movies started coming out. But I think Sonic Adventure is the one that really inspired most of the Sonic media, except for Sonic Boom, I would say. And obviously before that you had, you know, Sat AM and all that stuff, comics and such. Hello Entropy, hello Verity. But yeah. So we will see if Aiden joins us again, but let us get over to this. This is, as said before, the Dungeon Coach talking about upgraded skills in TTRPGs, DC-20 RPG skill mastery. Yes. We'll see what we've got. Here we go.
Mm-hmm. And this is not the one that Aiden recommended, correct?
No, this is not the one that Aiden recommended. Not yet.
Okay.
Great pause face. It was.
Yeah.
The Dungeon Coach. I'm here to help lower that DC in your game with some outside the box ideas. And today we're talking about skills in your game. Skills are massively important in Pathfinder, Dungeons and Dragons, and DC 20 RPG, but I have taken skills and the concept of some issues that I've seen with skills in different game systems and trying to fix them. You might like some of these adjustments and use them in your games, whether it be Dungeons and Dragons, Pathfinder, or whatever, or you might just be like, oh, this DC 20 thing sounds cool. It is pretty cool. You'll see. But we're going to talk about...
There's no disagreements, though. Is interesting. We might not. We might think, oh yeah, I can take this into my other games, or we might think, I'll just play your game, but we won't think, I'm not going to use your system. Okay, all right, yeah, fair enough. You know what? You're trying to sell a product. I guess I understand.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I mean,
when I sell my shit, I'm going to be an asshole. No, no, I won't.
I understand the marketing. It's fine. You know.
Yeah.
I mean movie videos made by putting game story stuff together without gameplay. Ah, yes. That would be ideal for Sonic Frontiers. Yes. It really would be. Even though the story itself makes me go, so far.
Yeah,
so.
We need to get back to that at some point.
Yeah, we got to finish that.
That way I can do my Sonic voice or my Shadow voice or my Knuckles voice.
Yeah, that's right. We do need to get back to that. Obviously, if you're talking about upgrading your skills, I am interested. Good. All right, here we go.
Is some shuffling around of attributes and skills that I've done. Some innovations I've done to knowledge-based checks that usually don't get enough time in the spotlight. And I've made some big moves on perception checks, initiative checks, and how that whole thing works to really fit.
Why are initiative checks being lumped in with skills? That's not a skill. I say that, but Pathfinder made it a skill, to be fair.
Yeah, I think that's why.
Yeah, that's okay. Never mind. Boo, Shadow Voice forever, woo.
Yeah, dude.
There you go.
Fix some issues that perception is such a huge thing. And I'm going to share with you guys a variable attribute rule that it might just blow your mind on how skill checks work and how you can think of outside the box ways to use them, or you might be doing it yourself already. Let me know. Here we go. First up, I'm going to show you all the big
thing is, I think the problem that we're going to run into specifically in this video is the fact that we play a lot of skill-based systems and we don't really play class-based systems anymore too much.
Not much, yeah.
And like because of how much skill-based stuff we play, we kind of already think of skills in these more
quote-unquote
varied
abstract
ways.
Yeah.
Yeah, abstract and varied, where it's not so binary.
Yeah.
So I don't know how much we are actually going to get out of this.
Well,
it'll be
interesting to see what he's got for innovations, at least, you know? Like, if there's anything that might be notable, it would be that kind of stuff. Like, the whole, like, oh, this is a different way to think about skills. I'm over here like, all right, tell me anything that I don't know. We'll see, I guess. That's the point where I'll be like, maybe there's nothing there. But, We'll see, I guess. I don't know. There might be something completely left field that makes us go, why the fuck would you do it like that? I don't understand.
It's like, this is so like overthought or underthought or whatever.
Yeah, we'll see. I think the problem I'm going to run into is that he's talking too fast for me. Fair enough.
Yeah, he's doing the fast talking and the hyper fast cuts, which
I know
they already annoy me.
And it's fair.
Picture what's going on here with all of the different attributes, because in DC 20 RPG there are 4 attributes that I have taken and merged. I've done a video on that. In general, it is might, which is kind of like strength, agility, which is kind of like dexterity, charisma is charisma, and intelligence is basically wisdom and intelligence combined together. Wisdom in D&D is usually this perception of the world around you, street smarts type of thing. I have taken the perception part of the world around you out of it, and that, as you can see, is in a prime situation. We'll talk about that too.
Prime? Okay.
Yeah, you know the drink?
Yeah, oh, Jesus Christ. That shit is disgusting.
Oh, is it?
Yes, it is. It actually is.
I have never drank
it, it's not worth your time.
Oh, don't worry. I don't intend to.
Good.
I don't drink meme drinks. I just drink drinks.
Fair. Absolutely fair.
And now intelligence truly represents your mind. And based on the skills that you select, which we'll talk about too, it's going to show how intelligent you are and what aspects of intelligence you have. And if you're wondering where constitution is, that's a great question, because why is constitution an attribute whenever that has no skills associated with it, right? So constitution is representative of your might and agility combined together in what's called fortitude, and your overall, which that represents your overall physical body, and grit represents your overall mental fortitude, is how strong your mind is within.
Okay. Grit is a term that I like I think of when I'm thinking of like the Old West and stuff like that. So I'm already like, okay.
Yeah, this is
interesting, sure. It's not like it's reserved for that, but
yeah, I think the first problem that I'm already having is that you're adding more shit.
Yeah.
Yeah, because you're adding things, you're condensing things, you're making things significantly more different, rather than simplifying. So
yeah, I mean, it's its own system, I guess. So there's some leeway there.
Oh, okay. So that is in the other one.
Yes. This is part of his system.
Okay.
So I think it's fine. Yeah, I think it's fine in that aspect.
That's fine.
But like, I don't know. Like, oh, there he is. Hello. Oh, there he goes. Bye-bye.
There he goes.
But so it's just the naming convention, right? Which I'm like, okay, sure. Again, you can use it. It's just
intelligence, and charisma averaged together. Your prime modifier is your highest attribute of any of your attributes. So if might is your highest, that's for your prime modifier. If your charisma is currently the highest and it's at a 3 or a 4, your prime is that. Because this
Okay,
so just your high. It's your highest, not your class's main one? That's interesting.
That is interesting. Just popped in. What system is this? Hello, Dave. This is where he's talking about DC 20. So this is the Dungeon Coach's like specific system that he's been a part of making. And I would say that hello. Hey, we're not gonna lose
welcome
you.
back.
What's up?
What's up? We are now down a monitor. I have like moved it away for now.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
However, so like I had my setup is like 3 big ultra wide 35-inch monitors, like
nice.
side by side.
Yeah.
And it fills up from periphery to periphery, and it's great. However, I have to like take my mic arm and put it like way up and around.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so like I got one out of the way.
Okay.
My
I'll send you a picture of my setup real quick because like I have to squeeze my mic arm in over here just because it's like there it is. It doesn't move, so I had to get extenders for it. So there might be, I mean, if you actually extenders might help you. There it is. Blah. There you go. So yeah, you can see my mic arm is just kind of like in the middle there. And I specifically bought like 4 extenders just in case, and I used 3 of them to like get it out here so they can be right where it needs to be. It's useful. I'd recommend it. Yeah.
No, sorry. I'm looking at it now. I'm reading up about it. Okay.
Yeah.
I will probably look into that.
Yeah. I'll send you a link to the ones that I got. I think they were like $20 or maybe 30.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just like looking at like what I can find.
Yeah.
But
fair.
like, yeah, if you would send me yours, please.
Yeah. But yeah, so far, the only things that you've missed have been well, I didn't want to go on YouTube. So far the only things that you missed were the he just started going into his specific stuff about what he's going to go over, and then talking about these stats basically that he has created for his own system, and how they kind of relate together and create, you know, things that you're familiar with and also are a little bit different. Extinction, is that how you spell things? No, it's not. Anyway, so yeah, just to give you a little bit of the preamble again, or give you the preamble since you weren't here. He's talking specifically about his custom system that he made, DC 20. We have covered it a couple of times, and it's okay sounding. You know, it's it is definitely
It does not ring a bell, unfortunately.
That's fair. Oh, this is even cheaper than I thought it was. There you go.
Oh, thank you.
You're
Thank you,
welcome.
Providing him with cheap goods?
Yes, indeed. But yeah, so as you can see on the list here, might is your strength and stuff. Your agility is basically dex, charisma, and intelligence is now, or charisma is itself, intelligence is now intelligence plus wisdom, basically. And then he said might and agility together are your fortitude, and charisma and intelligence together represent your grit, as he puts it. So, you know.
What is prime?
Yes, I was about to get to that. Prime is apparently, as he's just gone over, it's whatever your highest stat is for your character, so it will then, I guess,
Oh.
translate to you having that being your awareness.
I like that.
Yeah, it's interesting. I just have a little bit of a hang up in the sense of my awareness is mostly based on my might, in some cases, which I'm like, what does that mean?
So I don't. I like it
Yeah.
for purely out of game meta reasons.
Fair.
As a player.
Yeah.
Like who is a slave to like wisdom because perception.
Yes, true.
So like we talk about like the people in a D&D party are like notable people, like notable individuals.
Yeah.
I think that part of that like notability should be that they are like constantly like aware of danger, almost as if they were like a movie character.
Sure.
So like the barbarian being like super precise, like with his like elven ears, even though he's like I don't know, pick whatever race.
Yeah,
Along on.
Right. He's a gray blob.
Yeah. He's got big ears.
Yeah.
So I really like the fact that the whole party is like always going to be super aware. And I'm willing to pay that price of like I'm willing to suspend my disbelief that much, I guess.
Yeah.
And so like if it gives every single person who touches the system like the ability to not have that fear of like, oh, what if I don't hear the people ambushing the party?
That is fair. Yeah. And I think most everybody is going to be that way because of this, which is good, I guess. Yeah. I guess it's just I was on the hang up of that. Just I guess it was also meta in a way. The way that I was.
Yeah, I do totally see people like having issues with just like making your awareness like whatever your best stat is.
Yeah.
It is a little silly, a little goofy.
Little goof.
But like I will happily pay that price.
Yeah, exactly. Is ick the opposite of grit? Yes, absolutely. Also, happy episode 220, everyone. Round numbers rule. True.
Oh yeah.
Compute the prime factors. Indeed. Yes, congratulations on making numbers go up, and good luck reaching 999. True. One day we'll get to 99999. It'll be great. Then we'll be a true JRPG.
Yeah, man.
And 666. That's right. I still have the screenshot of when we hit that for subs, so no worries there.
Very good. I actually have I think I still have it. I have a screenshot of when I was on my 69th Slayer task and had killed my 69th enemy in RuneScape.
Hey, there you go. I hope episode 666 will be about succubi. We'll see, I guess. Nice. Yeah. Okay. Let's continue.
Represents your overall experience as an adventurer and how sharp of a wit you have and how aware you are of things. But we'll go ahead and get into that first. So as you can see, awareness is perception of the world around you. How perceptive are you? I've tied it to the prime modifier for a couple of reasons. I always hate just these perception checks and I don't want to make a perception check because I'm not as perceptive as this person or that person or whatever, and in general your character could be wildly unperceptive of certain things, and perception checks are just the biggest check in the game. And anytime I'm making...
Yeah, I mean, literally awareness is a pretty big one, though I try to spice it up with different skills, different attributes.
As a DM, like, you make a lot of perception checks, you make a lot of charisma checks, at least in my games. You make a lot of... Well, some characters can make a lot of deception checks. Yeah, I totally... Sorry. My point that I'm making is that there are some roles that are more common than others, and I'm okay with aligning the strategy to be like, hey, you know what? Let's make those roles that we are rolling all the time just good and not have to worry about them ever.
Yeah. I'm okay with that to a degree. I think that it's like how I have a problem with the not feeling as specialized in something like 5e, where if I'm putting my points into something, basically, I want to be the specialized character. And I know this. I think DC-20 is a class-based system, so it doesn't necessarily apply to it. So I'll grant it that. But when it's something like that, and you want to be that incredibly perceptive one, then basically everybody's the same in perception, which is fine. Again, but it's not something that I would really want to go for if I want to play a character who is that, you know. Because we've done it before, and you make the man who sees every time.
Yes.
Every time.
Every time.
So
It is the role that I am willing to play for you.
yes.
For your
Yes.
it is the price I am willing to pay for the party. I'll take the bullet. Someone's gotta be him. It might as well be me.
Exactly. Exactly.
Oh my god, I feel so bad for you.
I'm sacrificing. I'm very brave.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just so good.
Thank you.
Yep.
Thank you.
Yep.
Yes.
Take a bow. There you go.
Yes. Fucking clap now. Please clap.
Please clap. Yeah.
Please.
But yeah, it's just that's one thing that I can see as being, I guess a place or a character type that goes away because of this. Which is, again, it's fine.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Picking a character, it feels bad if I don't pick perception because I know that it's so important, and that just feels right. I want all the skills to be balanced and to be some sort of use to each of them. And perception checks just are on too much of a pedestal to assign them to a certain stat. And then if someone wants to be really perceptive, but then they want to have a low wisdom score, or vice versa, or they want to have a high wisdom score because they're a cleric or a druid or something, so they have high wisdom, and then they're just by default also very perceptive, and then now the group's going to them to try and be the lookout or looking around. No, everyone across the board will have basically, as their prime modifiers would all be about the same. Whoever's highest stat is all going to be about the same if you're all the same level. So at a baseline, everyone would be the same amount of perceptive. So if you're talking about going and looking for stuff and making perception checks and all that kind of stuff, it does happen very frequently, so that solves the problem and levels the playing field. But perception, or awareness in this case, still is a skill. And in DC-20, just like how Pathfinder works, there's 5 levels of skills. Every time you put a point, you level up your skills to get +2, +4, +6, +8, +10. So you can invest if you want to be, and you want to role play, or you want to tactically be a perceptive person, you can put points into awareness.
Then I retract. Then you have it already. You're good. That's the way that you have them differentiated easily. So, good job. Episode 666. The gang played Fatal. No!
Oh!
No.
Nah, man, that's when we'll do a Doom stream.
Yeah, there you go. The episode 69 could have been about Succubi, but that opportunity is past. I see later on it was 69 was about romance. That's right. It was about that kind of stuff.
Yeah. Something far more nuanced than just
I think
filthy.
I think we went into them a little bit though. So
I think so, yeah.
I think, yeah. I play perception/vigilance skills not about who can see, but who can see first. Yes. And then you get to choose whether or not you tell people. But yeah.
I just think this puts everything in a really nice level playing field for everyone to have your prime modifier be associated with those perception checks. Sure. And then if somebody wants to be really perceptive and they want to go down that road and invest points into that, they can. Best of both worlds, and it really fixes, I think, some issues with perception being so prevalent. Also, a quick little timeout here. This chart is the alpha of DC-20 RPG. If you're interested...
Oh, when did this come out? Because DC-20's been out for a little while, as far as I remember. Let me find out really quick. That is the Amazon link. That is not the one that I wanted. There we go.
Welcome back.
It's so loud. This one was 2 years ago. Yeah, DC-20 has been out, I believe, for a little while. So obviously things have changed at this point. I assume. So we are, criticizing a dead thing, a long dead thing. Although you can still get it. Apparently, it's right here for 50 cents. So never mind. It's still something you can buy.
50 cents. Wow.
Yeah, 50 cents for a Alpha 7 PD or Alpha 0.7 PDF, excuse me.
Oh, I see.
Yeah,
I see.
yeah.
Okay.
For this specifically. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interested in any of the stuff I've said in this video and other videos, or if you're still on the fence, it's okay, just sit there, hang back, check it out. This game system in development is entirely supported by my patrons, and there's just a brand new feature that's added to Patreon that's actually, I'm beta testing it right now for Patreon, is a free membership tier. You can join Patreon for free, you sign up, and you can get alerts with some stuff every time I make a post on Patreon. You can kind of get a pulse check, but without paying anything. And then if something piques your interest, you can join at whatever tier you're interested in, and then go back to doing what you do. Because
that's how Patreon works. Yes, that is a thing that you could do with ours if you wanted, I guess. So okay.
In a very short amount of time, I'm going to be releasing the alpha on Patreon, and there's a whole different tiers. You can check out all the rewards there and keep up to date with that. And then eventually I'll be releasing the beta to all patrons. So keep checking it out, see what you like, and then dip your toes in the water whenever you feel like you want to give it a shot. But let's get back to skills. Before we get into this knowledge situation here, where the knowledge had sub-skills, skills and sub-skills. That's interesting. We'll talk about that here in a second. But if you've noticed, I have shuffled some things around. I have paired intimidation with might. Intimidation is now with the might attribute, or strength in the case of other games. But I think that's a better home for it. As far as a default place for it to go, usually whenever in my experience, again, let me know in the comments if I'm wrong on this, most of the time the people that use intimidation very much more so makes sense to use a strength-based, or in this case,
so
not always.
Not always.
So yeah, like what about the sinister person or the person with the knife or the torturer? Like what the vampire archetype that Brogan was playing?
Glitch. Yeah.
Glitch.
Yeah. No, there's a whole archetype of character that you can find, actually multiple archetypes of characters that you can find that are more subtle with their intimidation or overt in their ability to manipulate and all of that kind of stuff. Like that, it's not something that I solely base on strength or charisma.
Yeah, it's not that it's not that binary.
Yes. I agree.
Like, imagine the lawfully evil character describing how he's going to, like, take a person down politically, ruin their reputation, like, cast them down into the gutter of society, and then, like, walking out and, like, having a nice day. Like, you can make threats and scare people and, like, still be civil about it, and, like, you can do it with a smile on your face, even.
And this is where your pure skill systems outshine class systems in a lot of ways for these kinds of specific things. Because as we're doing with the vampire, you can use your charisma, you can use your strength, you can use whatever with any skill, so you can really freely kind of utilize whatever attribute with whatever skill that you want to in order to show that kind of thing that you're going for. As well as you can do it in something like D&D as well. They have those optional, variant rules that a lot of people do take advantage of because it makes a lot of sense. Of like, well, yeah, I'm trying to intimidate this guy with my size, strength, sure, or constitution even, and then, I'm trying to actually do this in a way that's more of a wordsmith, if you will. Charisma, okay, or intelligence maybe, or wisdom even, who knows, right?
Dude, a constitution-based intelligence would be badass.
Yeah, exactly.
Like stabbing yourself or something.
Oh, yeah, for the intimidate, yeah.
I think I still have the blood to move.
Yeah,
yes, sorry.
You said intelligence.
Oh, sorry, yes. A constitution-based intimidate.
Yeah, exactly. Because, like, the thing with this has been out for a little while, so I'm not spoiling anything. But like the thing where Nicholas, when you guys did your first fight together, where he was just taking punches and shit and just not getting hurt. That shit is intimidating as fuck.
Mm-hmm.
So you just use both, you know?
Yeah. Take a punch across the jaw and look at the person with, like, their fists still on your jaw.
Yeah.
Yeah, do the Goku.
Yeah, do the Goku. Yeah, there you go. Silence and good looks can be intimidation. And a good look, excuse me, can be intimidation. Yes. Exactly. That's the whole kind of thing. So, like, again, this is where skill systems outshine a little bit in terms of actually making these skills work. So if you're going for class-based systems, you got to put it somewhere. I get that, but I think charisma is a good place to keep it because it represents a wider gamut, I guess, of like interactions.
Might-based intimidation. Because people with high charisma that are good with words might not have to resort to intimidation tactics to threaten somebody. They might just be able to talk with them regularly, and it might be inappropriate for them to use intimidation. But a strength-based character, someone who's very strong and intimidating, it makes a little more sense there. But just wait till we talk about the variable attribute rule, and then that's going to be real fun. You also see a new thing right here, trickery. Trickery is basically the DC 20 version of sleight of hand, but a lot cooler. But we'll talk about trickery here in a second. I want to stay talking about the big picture here. Stealth is stealth. That's pretty obvious. Animal handling. First of all, animal handling.
So we're just like gonna glaze past the fact that like trickery also seems like it would be deception.
Yeah, I'm wondering. Apparently we're gonna get to it. I guess I don't know, but I don't know. It's where. There is, I guess, influence is the one that he'll go for deception and diplomacy and all that kind of stuff, right? Like, I feel like that's it can encompass more, I guess.
Yeah, so he has trickery and stealth though too.
Yeah, you think that you could just have stealth if you want all of the stealthy things.
Yeah, I don't know. He says he'll get back to it, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see.
Feels weird to say the word handling. I don't know. So make an animal check. Make a, we're talking about religion check, medicine check, animal check. It just feels better to say animal instead of animal handling.
I don't think so. I think it's weird to say.
I think it kind of sounds worse, actually.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make an animal check.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm going to use gun. Like,
yeah.
You do you, bud, but I don't agree at all.
Yeah.
Wisdom intimidation. You give good advice you know the target will never accept. Yeah, there you go. I like that.
I don't know. But I have it as a charisma-based check because your empathy, your interaction with other creatures, other people, other animals, right? This is a charisma-based thing for me. So by default, your interaction with animals, just like your interaction with people is charisma.
I don't agree. I feel like I could more see it in something like your wisdom and intelligence because you are not necessarily trying to empathize, but more train in a lot of ways.
Yeah.
You can do it as something like that, and I would be fine with you using charisma for your animal handling or your animal ken or whatever it may be, animal. But I don't know, man. It feels like I would go for the practicality first rather than the emotional aspect. I don't know. It just, maybe that's because I'm so used to it being in that kind of camp. I will give you that. It might be there's a bias there, but at least to me it seems logical. I don't know.
It's worth consideration too that it's not necessarily worth viewing it as just practicality, as more like just knowing who and what you are interacting with.
Yeah.
Like, if I know that someone has a dead parent,
Sure.
I'm not going to say like, oh, make sure you tell your parents X.
Sure.
Like, if I'm interacting with a wolf, I'm probably going to try to gain its favor by feeding it meat and not vegetables.
Yeah.
So like I can sort of see a little bit of like the DM allowing wisdom to be used for interaction for two characters instead of charisma as a default.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I'm fine with it being like there being other things used, but I guess my default would be that practicality because in the wild, I don't know if I'm necessarily going to think like in a survival instinct of like, oh, I'm doing this out of kindness, I guess, out of trust. I'm doing it so that I can survive, you know. Which is why it's the wisdom aspect in D&D, and it really associates with that kind of, oh, I'm here trying to survive through this in a way. To me at least. But again, if you want to use other stats for it, I don't see it as a problem. It's just putting it into the base intelligence category seems better to me. But
is charisma. And just like we've also been talking about, all that interacting with people gives you a good sense and pulse check of people, which means also insight is going to be a charisma based thing. And I don't know about you, but it just feels way better to not have wisdom in the picture at all. I love having 4 attributes, and the more that I've been building out this game system with only 4 attributes, it just feels better because you don't need constitution because it's not even there's no skills associated with that. And wisdom and intelligence already compete against each other in some weird ways that feels kind of weird to describe to somebody else. And I know, and I get it, and I've described it perfectly fine before. Oh, wisdom is this and intelligence is that. But it just ultimately, in my opinion, feels better to have intelligence be your smarts and charisma be your interaction with others. And
yeah, but insight isn't based off of, like, isn't that your ability to read social cues, usually, in that kind of respect?
Mm-hmm.
So wouldn't that fit more with your ability to recognize them, rather than your ability to do them, I guess?
Yeah, that's weird.
I feel like intelligence is still where that would go.
Yeah.
If it's your combination of wisdom and intelligence. And again, I can see you utilizing any skill for, or any stat for any skill, sure, but like, I don't know, it doesn't click for me in that kind of way. And I'm not sure why it needed to be changed, I guess, but mostly because you have only 3 and you have like 4 skills max and then 2 skills in might. It's like, well, you needed to put it somewhere, I guess. And instead of making intelligence incredibly heavy and having instead it be branched off into wisdom and intelligence like we're all kind of used to, you had to put it somewhere else. So I'm like, okay, fine, sure. What's wrong with wisdom again? He lost me. So there's nothing necessarily wrong with it. Hello, Pizza Funk. There's nothing necessarily wrong with it. It's just that there is some strange interactions that make it so that you have to explain things weirdly, I guess. I'm not sure. I don't think there's too much of a problem with the explanations, and he himself has also said that, but he's also just trying to simplify it down, I guess. So, which is fine, right? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. Make it as simple or as complex as you want. It's your fucking system. Make it however you want. But I don't know. It seems, again, this might just be my bias, but I understand what wisdom and intelligence are like, and I can also understand even when you have the variable attribute rule in your own game. It's like, well, I can also understand that you can utilize different attributes for skills. So, not really sure, but again, simplicity, I guess.
And in that interaction would
you want to say something?
Yeah, no, I was gonna say that, like, I kind of understand the, like, of this split between intelligence and wisdom.
Yeah.
Like, you don't want players power gaming, and I also understand the appeal of, like, just combining them back together and making an easier system and getting rid of con and whatever.
Yeah.
To make it like rules light. But yeah, like, if you want to make a simpler system, like, absolutely, like, please feel free to do so. Like, this will be fine for like some games.
Yeah.
I could absolutely see myself using this for
yeah.
some one shots.
Yeah.
Like I think this is absolutely perfect for one shots.
Yeah.
However, like I prefer a crunchier campaign. That's just my preference.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And obviously we are looking at 0.7 alpha, so changes have probably been made. So I don't know what the changes are, but
yeah, this is by no means the final product.
No, exactly.
Insight to be able to read people. And I've also combined together persuasion and deception, because the only difference between persuasion and deception is if you're okay at lying or not, right? If I'm going to convince somebody to do something with a lie or with not a lie. So I think those are two similar in general, and I have combined them into an influence check. You're trying to influence somebody to do something with your words.
That's fair.
That's it. Simple. Because it's always felt weird in some ways, and you know what I'm talking about when you're at the table and somebody's trying to describe something, but they know that they're good with deception, so they try and make it into a lie, or then maybe they're good with persuasion, so they're trying to not lie. But
I guess if you're trying to power game it like that, sure.
Yeah,
I don't know. Sure, that can happen. You're fine. I thought wisdom was street smarts and intelligence was book smarts, right? Basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Wisdom is intuition and awareness, basically. Yes.
they really are lying, but then maybe the circumstances are different, so they're not lying, but they are. It's weird. Or like what they're saying is technically true, but they're lying is what they're dressed up as. So it gets weird. Anyways, then you have intelligence with investigation is your deduction and kind of moving things around, seeing how things work, right? Medicine is the same, survival is the same. And then we have knowledge. In general, knowledge is how knowledgeable is your character. You can put points into knowledge and get more knowledgeable. And we'll talk about these sub-knowledge skills here in a second. But in Dungeons and Dragons, it is a very much how proficiency works is you choose proficiencies, you have them, and they just level up over time. That's it. You don't have to try anything at them. You don't have to level them up. You don't get to choose. Once you have it, it just levels up as your proficiency bonus levels up, as you level up, right? In Pathfinder and in DC 20, you actively put more points into and level up things to gain more. In DC 20, it's called mastery in a skill. So if you have no mastery in a skill, you have a +0, and all you add is the attribute. So you'd make it a knowledge check would be your intelligence modifier. That's it. But
I approve of this. I like how Pathfinder does it. I'm glad you cannibalized it. That's good.
One level of mastery you gain into the skill gets you a +2. So you have +2, +4, +6.
Sorry, Dave said, I've combined intimidation and charm and renamed the skill Yandere.
Nice.
Very good. I love that.
All the way up to a +10 higher level. So if you don't want your character to be very knowledgeable, don't put any points into it, and you'll have no known plus modifiers to knowledge whenever you're trying to make some sort of check about some general knowledge-based stuff, which I think that does happen a lot. And in general, that would be a flat intelligence check. But now, with it having a knowledge skill, it could be a general knowledge check. But here's the...
So they do have their, already they have their knowledge bits that are already, taken apart. Because you even have nature, history, arcana, religion, like all of those are kind of there. It's not as robust as it used to be. Don't get me wrong. I every day I yearn for knowledge of the planes, like things that are very specific. That we will never come into play, but my character fucking knows it, brother. He knows it real good.
Remember that time you were fucking going through the mountains and I completely fucking forgot that your character spoke giant?
Yes. Yes, I do.
Like, I speak giant. Oh, fuck.
Yes, exactly.
So I love it when that shit happens. That good. Really specific edge case.
Yeah, it's great. But I understand, they've condensed it a bunch because that was the thing that happened. Oh, I have knowledge the planes. Oh, okay. I roll it and I'll tell you more about the plane that you're on. Like what you would know about it, I guess. So but like the whole thing is just to say that 5e does it that way in the sense of you getting those proficiencies and everything and then having the skill. The only thing that it's missing is the the actual being able to invest points into it, which would be nice. I think that I don't know, I actually can't remember. I doubt that they've changed it much in 2024. I don't think they have. But I wish there was a way to become more specialized in that way. And maybe there is from how feats work now, because they've added feats back, and I haven't looked at any of the feats. So, it could be.
Cool part, and here's how these sub skills work. Whenever you use one skill point to put it into knowledge to increase your knowledge mastery to 1, you know, everyone starts off at 0, so whenever you have 1 mastery, something cool happens. You gain instantly 2 free points to put into anything else you want. So basically, whenever you put 1 point into knowledge, it multiplies into 2 little baby points to put into the little baby sub skills. Okay. So let's say I'm a druid and I want to be more knowledgeable, and I'm going to put 1 point into knowledge, but I get 2 points to put into these free ones to further express what my knowledge is. How smart am I in what things? So let's say this druid wants to go into nature and occultism. Occultism is like the opposite of religion. It's like different workings of cults and different things. Maybe my
well, technically it's still religious.
I was going to say it's completely a religion, though.
Yeah,
usually.
I am in support of this because it allows for freak characters.
Oh yeah.
If you want to have that one character who is like hyper specific knowledge about like explosives, for instance, you can make that.
Yeah. With the custom lore thing.
If you want, if you want to make like create trash, you can do that as or do the equivalent of that with knowledge.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, no, I like that as the feature. That is neat. I took Giant as an elective in high school, but I forgot about it most of the time too. Fair, yeah. Mech Warrior 1E and Rifts do something like that, with investment in a skill granting points to sub-skills. Oh, I didn't know that. Very cool.
This also kind of feels a little bit like Divinity Original Sin, where I'm pretty sure if you put a point into a major skill, you get points that you can put into skills beneath them.
Yeah, I think you're right.
So if you level up strength, you can level up like swords or something to that effect.
Something like that, yeah.
Has some sort of cult that has tried to infiltrate and degrade the forest in some way. So I want to have nature, so I'm knowledgeable with nature, and I want to know about these cults. So with 1 skill point, I put it into knowledge, and I gain mastery in knowledge, nature, and occultism all at once. Because intelligence-based checks, a lot of times, especially if you don't have a dungeon master that really puts weight into that and lets you have some more lore bombs that gets dropped and more information to be shared, or finding cool ways to use these skills, they really seem like a waste. Why would you put 1 skill point in D&D? Why would you put 1 skill point into religion when you could be putting it into perception or athletics or acrobatics?
Well, so they don't do that. And they haven't done that for a very long time. And also, when they did have skills that you could put points into in D&D, they gave you like 1 times your intelligence modifier. So you got a lot that you could put into.
You always got a lot.
You could put up to a certain cap. I'm thinking 3.5 specifically. There was a cap that you could do for every level, but you could just put 1 point into a bunch of things, or you could put them all into one thing.
+3.
Yeah, it was your level plus 3, exactly. A weird comparison to make, considering that's not the case anymore. But I go off, I guess. I don't know. Druid, knowledgeable about nature, boring. Druids should take knowledge, green spaces, and urban planning. True, Draco Kraken, yes.
Or stealth, or other things that are going to come up more and have more meaning to them. So in this way, you can put 1 skill point into knowledge and still pick up religion and something else. And in general, you see there's this custom lore bit on the character sheet in DC 20.
Oh, that was his cursor. Okay, this whole time I've been looking at the screen and I'm like, what the fuck is on my monitor? No, it's just a black cursor on a black screen that is slightly more dark. So I'm like, oh.
Oh, that's what it is.
Yeah,
okay.
I was rubbing at my monitor when it was paused because I was like, what the fuck is that? No, it's the cursor. I'm sorry. Okay.
there are blanks on the character sheet for custom lore bits that are open for you to make whatever you want. If you want to be specifically dragons, you've made a ranger and you have all this history of hunting down and tracking dragons. You could put in dragons. Again, work with your dungeon master on this, but you could have a very specific lore based on
like
your
I said,
character's
freak
Yeah, exactly. Very cool.
backstory, or based on the campaign settings backstory about some certain faction or some certain region. And because these points are a little bit...
It's like how, it's not exactly the same, but it is like how you can get specialties in Vampire where you can just do whatever kind of specialty inside of a skill. Even if you don't necessarily have like points in it, you can go, oh, I have academics, fucking, circuits. I don't know.
Oh.
Sure. Like, whatever you want, right? And then it's like, oh, okay, well, if I ever need you to roll something of, like, okay, understanding how this circuit might be, connected.
Ooh, you bastard, I was drinking.
Oh, did I get you with that?
Yeah. I only, didn't have it caught by my mic because I have push to talk on. I'm trying to adjust to that.
Fair. But yeah, so it's, it is one of those things where you get extra dice because you can take that specialty and all that kind of stuff. But obviously this one you get a little bit more because that's how this system works.
Bit more free, and you have multiple points to put in. You put a point in knowledge and you get all these extra points. It's very valuable, or at least more valuable than it would have been if it was still a 1-to-1 points compared to these other skills. I don't know, I think it's cool, but again, let me know what you guys think down in the description, because this is in alpha and we are play testing this and we are going through, and I'm really looking to the community for feedback. I'm looking to my patrons for feedback to really make this game as best as possible. But now let's talk about that trickery situation. I'm going to show a little bit more of the document here. This is talking about each of the different things. We have might with athletics and kind of what it does, all the different things it pertains to, intimidation, agility with acrobatics, but now here's trickery. Sleight of hand is a cool thing. It almost feels like a little bit more of a magic trick, like sleight of hand, like I'm palming a card or something and you can't see, oh, it's a card, and it's picking pockets and other things like that. Sleight of hand, sneaky hand movements. I like trickery. Basically, you're deceiving somebody with physical means instead of verbal means, because deception in D&D would be lying to somebody with your mouth, like you're saying words, it's a lie, you're trying to lie to somebody. You are basically trying to trick somebody.
With our mouth, I thought we were lying with our fucking pinky finger.
Hey man, I could lie with my writing, okay?
That's true.
Yeah, come on.
You're physically
I don't even, honestly, I'm not sure I would even do that as a like a deception check.
Oh, I
would
wouldn't
have that as like a crafting check.
Yeah,
like craft forgery or something.
Yeah,
like
exactly.
That.
It would be, well, so it depends. I think it would be depending on what it is, what situation it might be. It could be like an intelligence or a knowledge check, right? Because it's like, oh, what are you lying about? Do they know what that is? There are many ways you can go with it, though. I like it. I like it a lot. Write things down and pass them to people to lie to them more is the takeaway here. Do it. Pass notes in your games.
Yes.
Trickery covers nonverbal means of deceiving others, such as pickpocketing, concealing an object on your person, hiding it on yourself, other forms of physical deception, which also covers sleight of hand and all that kind of stuff, concealing an object and hiding an object, disarming a trap would be a very trickery type thing. And also, side note, in DC 20, traps and checking for traps is a very smooth process because you can use awareness to look for a trap, and then you see one. Oh, I've spotted one. And then you can use investigation to try and determine, right, and use your intelligence with investigation. Right, so again, we've done prime modifier, looking around for just general with awareness, and then now I've seen the trap, and I go over to the trap now. I'm using intelligence investigation on the trap to see if I can deduce and determine how the trap works mechanically, and let's say I succeed on that, and I know how it works now. Okay, now I'm going to use trickery, which is
I thought you were going for more of the you can disarm it with either intelligence or trickery,
I will say I do like trickery insofar as it does make a very definite candidate for lockpicking.
Yes.
There is no what is the skill check? Oh, well, it's a used thing. Like, there is no conversation that your party has to have about that the first time you worry about that. It's definite. I like it.
Yeah, I like trickery as the skill. And what it does, but I feel like you dropped the ball a little bit in the whole process, because this requires 3 different skills for you to go through the process of disarming a trap.
Yeah. You would need to do like intelligence trickery. Like roll me a intelligence trickery. Sort of like skill check.
Yeah. If you want to have it be your brain instead of your hands.
Yeah.
Necessarily. So, it just feels like a weird process, but I assume that might have changed. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I would assume, given that he seems to be like amenable to the idea of using like every skill for or every skill for every what is it? Every stat for every skill rather.
Yeah.
He even talks about it. So like I would assume he would say like roll me intelligence trickery or roll me a dexterity trickery or whatever.
Exactly.
He probably just doesn't outright say it.
Yeah. Which fine. I assume somebody has brought it up, but you know.
Agility, dexterous hand-based movements, to trickery, which is a very sneaky-based thing, traps, picking locks, etc. And now I'm using a trickery check to try and disarm. So it really hits the spectrum instead of just, make an investigation check, make another investigation check, make a thief, like all this kind of. It's a very seamless process of awareness.
Well, it still seems the same, like in terms of steps. So I don't know what you're trying to go for here, but sure.
Yeah, like nothing has been changed about the core gameplay loop of DM. Can I do this? Yes. Roll me math.
Yeah.
Okay. Yes, I have rolled math. DM. Do I pass?
Exactly. Yes.
Ooh, there it is. Investigation. I know how it works. Trickery. Disarm. And then we keep going through. Stealth is pretty obvious. There's an investigation like we've talked about. Medicine, survival. And then look at this knowledge. Really breaks down how each of these work. Nature, it has to do with the elements, beasts, plants. History has to do with the history of the world, lore, kingdoms and stuff, different factions. Our arcana is magic constructs, things being constructed and made of magic. All the planes of existence, etc. Religion is holy magic. Why
all of the planes of existence? I guess.
It sounds like knowledge of the planes to me.
Yeah, it does. But at the I guess. Yeah, true. All right, never mind.
Why wouldn't it be occultism?
It's arcana. But
yeah.
Yeah. It's just one of those things where I'm like, I guess knowledge would be where I would put that, but whatever. Because like arcana, like no, you know what? I'm gonna push back on this a little bit harder. Planes of existence, knowing that there are planes of existence would be knowledge. Not necessarily tied to specifically magic, because I don't know. I mean, yeah, sure, your world was created by magic, but that doesn't mean that knowing how magic works, I guess, means that you can understand the planes of existence. I don't know. It seems like something that you would study as like the same as I would study a map to try to understand like how the world is and where things are, and go out to understand how the world is, how the world operates, I guess, and what inhabits it. Like for nature, I'd be like, oh yeah, I could figure out, what animals and plants there are in, I guess, the material plane, quote unquote, like whatever your primary plane is. Whereas arcana, I don't know if these things are necessarily magical beings that inhabit these other planes. If that's the case, then sure. I guess I need more clarification on the world building that you would have to have in place, and this would vary table to table. So you could use it in this way for specific campaigns, I guess, but as a very general catch-all, I'm not entirely sure. Again, it seems more like just a general knowledge of the planes. So it would be the just your whatever niche case you want to be, rather than something that's built into arcana. But again, however you want to do it.
While occultism is unholy magic. Religion is celestials, while occultism is demons and devils. You also have rituals of good and bad on both sides, and occultism deals with aberrations too. Then we have charisma with animal, insight, influence. There you go there. And then there's your awareness at the end, which fits the whole picture. And then we have trade skills, which we are going to get into next time. We'll hold up timeout. So I hope you enjoy these little sneak peeks that I'm giving you of DC20RPG, and I do genuinely hope you can use these concepts and principles in whatever TTRPG that you're playing. I've gotten so many comments about people making their own TTRPGs that have seen some stuff here that I'm working on and developing, and they use that, pick and choose and steal it to use it in their own, and I love that. I love that so much. And I see different applications of D&D being enhanced with certain ways, and I've already changed my own D&D game in certain ways from what I'm doing here with DC20RPG. So I hope these ideas aren't too outside the box for you, because we are swinging for the fences here with this new game system, and I hope these help you in some way, shape, or form. Let me know down below, and if you're interested in DC20RPG, check out and support on Patreon is the best way to help this project keep going and keep pushing it out there to launch this thing and have it be a full-blown game. So until next time, stay creative, think outside the box. Peace.
Yeah. I think my biggest takeaway is the trickery aspect. I think that's the best thing that I've seen that came out of this. Just as a more, uniform way that we can all understand the sleight of hand and all of that kind of stuff being rolled together into a single skill. I think that's better. The rest of it is like, do what you want. Yep. And obviously the utilization of Pathfinder's mastery system is just Pathfinder, so I'm like, yeah, all right, absolutely.
Is that Mab?
Yeah, that's Mab.
What was that? Nice.
Yeah, no, I really like this system. I did not remember it from earlier discussions about it. However, I was clearly missing out, because the more that I learn about it, the more I'm like, ooh.
Yeah.
I really like it for things like one-shots, like I said earlier. Things where, because typically this seems like a very rules-light system.
Yeah.
I like the way that the skills are meant to be very snappy, I guess, keep the action going, keep the plot moving forward. And I think that that's very important for one shots, especially look at our history with one shots.
Yeah, true.
Yeah. I absolutely think that this would be a wonderful addition to your games for any one shots that you have planned. I will certainly be looking at it for my own one shots.
Yeah, I'd be interested to see what the final product is, I guess, and what has been finalized in what he's created here, because the coverage of that we've done a little bit of the thing has been here and there videos that are just he's talking about specific things, but he's kind of referencing the DC20 thing itself. One of the ones that I remember off the top of my head is the counterspell one. If you remember that, counterspell and dispel magic, that being the way that they clashed in a way with how the spells worked and canceled. Yeah. Which I had my issues with, but it was fine, if that's how you want to do it. It's just it's the grander conversation of how counterspell people hate for some reason, when it's not used in a way that it seems like people just go, no. And that's it. And there's no anything else to it for some reason. But I'm interested in it as something, like you said, for one shots. I think that it's perfect for that, at least from the this more in-depth kind of way that we've gone in a little bit so far.
I will say, given what I could see at the very end of the video about the trades system, I do really think it's unfortunate that he's implemented this system of trades, which adds depth to character development of this is my character. He is a warrior, but also a baker.
Hey.
Yeah, so it absolutely trades could be used. You could make, of course, some silly characters for one shots. But like the point that I'm trying to make though is that trades add a lot of character depth.
Yes.
With typically we don't see focused on in one shots.
Yeah, true.
So like sort of like the very nature of the fact that we're like, all right, like make skill checks fast, they keep the action moving. We don't really have time to like wax profound about like, oh, was it moral to like steal from the villain in this scenario or whatever. So like the point is, I would like to see trades introduced in maybe like Pathfinder 2e or D&D and like sort of steal that bit from DC 20 and maybe copy it over into 5e.
Yeah,
Um
I would say that the having a trade is something that is present in both Pathfinder um and Dungeons and Dragons, because the backgrounds exist, right, and your ancestries and all of that for Pathfinder. And the backgrounds, though they are usually kind of not as substantial as we would like, a lot of the time, they do give you access to those like tools and such, and the tools themselves, like the ability to utilize those tools, is itself its own skill system, which is what I feel like that might be aping a little bit, except now it's just a full-blown, part of the character that's not necessarily tied to you choosing I guess it is kind of you tying it to choosing a background of some sort. I don't know. I can only speculate because we haven't seen that.
yeah, like until I actually see the trades video,
Yeah.
I couldn't really, like, in good conscience say, like, oh, yes, I recommend you add this to your game.
Right.
But, like, it would be worthwhile considering it as an addition to, like, oh, hey, maybe I can add this to my games
Well, yeah.
in the future.
Sorry, go on.
I don't know, that was the end of my point.
Okay. I all that to say, at least from my end, was just that they do exist in these systems already. It's just the utilization of them is something that is now more so on the players and the DM, um, with the backgrounds and stuff specifically, and the tool usage, because the only tools that I ever see really used are your locksmith, basically your thieves tools, right? Because they're the ones that are practical, the most practical in a lot of scenarios. Whereas in Xanathar's guide, I would point to, it's one of the ones that went, hey guys, you know how tools exist? Well, you could combine those with many different skills so that you could learn, like, oh, the masonry tools. You can learn about the construction of these buildings and stuff. Like, it gave a lot of ideas of how to utilize your background skills, quote unquote, to further your role playing if you wanted to go that direction. And I think it's just that people don't do that with 5e for whatever reason. I don't know myself, because I would like to, but I honestly can't say that I ever did with those kinds of things, because it just didn't cross my mind, and I don't know why, because that option is there for you to think about and actually utilize. So, and I assume that Pathfinder has something similar, but I'm not sure.
Here I am to be a contrarian after hearing you mention that the most common tools used were thieves' tools.
Yeah, fair enough.
The D&D campaign that I'm in right now, one of the players is playing a Warforged, and he
Ooh.
constantly incorporates all sorts of tools into his body.
Oh, cool.
And he's doing all sorts of checks all the time in all sorts of like different scenarios of like, oh, can I use these tools to do this? Can I use these tools to do this?
Good.
And it's like really creative and really cool.
Yeah, there you go. That's what I'm talking about. It's stuff like that. It doesn't come into play unless it seems to be that specific kind of niche in a way, which is unfortunate, because I feel like we can do a lot with tools in terms of figuring out the world and really characterizing our characters, right? Yeah.
So this is really weird for me because a big focus, or sorry, not a big focus, a recent obsession of mine on YouTube has been McNally Official.
Okay.
He picks locks.
Oh.
And like he is insanely fast at it, and in some of his videos, he takes aluminum cans and will cut like a shim basically,
Mhm.
and then like slide it down into the lock and like shim it around, and then the lock pops open, of course.
Cool.
So like the point I'm trying to make is different tools. Sorry, push to talk. All sorts of different tools and all sorts of different scenarios. I am in support.
Yes. Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Yeah. It's. I need to see more tool usage in 5e, not in that way. And but yeah, no, I think that it's something that's again, it'll add a lot. So okay, let's we will move on to the video that Aiden gave us a while back. A video that you gave us a while back to look at. In a second, I need to use the bathroom really quick, and I'm gonna go make sure my cats are having a good time. So give me just a second. I will be right back.
I will also be right back.
Okay.
Oh ho ho!
Hello.
Hello, I've returned.
Yes.
Oh, all right.
Did you watch that El Toro 64 Russ
I have
video
not yet.
that I sent into the chat? Oh,
I
it's
was
very good.
Today I have been writing, and I've been happy that I've been able to like just write.
Yeah.
It's good.
That was me yesterday.
It's good to not be in a slump. I'm actually quite inspired at the moment, which is very nice.
Good.
So yeah.
Good.
But I'll watch it after the show.
Yeah, no, you're good.
Yeah. Let's see. Is McNally the guy who opens locks by beating them with other locks? Is Aiden back? Is it? Oh yeah.
Yes, that is McNally.
There you go.
whenever he starts a video with like, oh, this is a Lockmaster 5737X or whatever. It can be opened using another Lockmaster, and then like he bashes the locks together.
Nice.
Here is the video of him making the shim actually from the aluminum can.
Oh, cool. Thank you. I'll look at that later.
He actually starts making the shim at I'll timestamp it. I'll edit it.
Yeah, worries. No worries. Worries. Booster Gold. I see that people are saying boo in different ways.
Oh, I do like Booster Gold.
Booster Gold is a neato guy.
Yeah, he's pretty sweet. I like because he starts off as just like an asshole, and then
and then he actually
becomes a good guy.
Yeah, it's cool.
I like it.
I was saying booerns. Das boo. That's right.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for that. I'll watch it later. Let us move on to, where is it? There it is. You're doing it wrong. Running skill systems in TTRPGs by Driving and Dragons. We have covered Driving and Dragons one time. This was during the 200th episode, the 24 hours that we did. And I think, Boo, you weren't here for it. But we were tired out of our minds, and some of the turns and stuff were making us go, because...
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Oh, yes, I remember this video.
Yeah. You had posted this in our group chat a little while back.
It was the AI art that caught my eye.
Ah, interesting. Gotcha.
Out of hatred, I should clarify. I hate AI art.
I understand.
It's fine. Like, you use it for your channel if you wish.
Yeah.
I will never use it.
Yeah, fair.
Sure.
But yeah, so it's interesting that apparently we're doing it wrong. Very cool. How did they know I was doing it wrong? Are they watching me? Yes, they're watching you all the time. There are cameras in your house right now.
Garibay knows you're doing it wrong.
That's right.
Well, he knows everything.
Yeah, I was going to say,
so.
he is omniscient in various ways. So
D&D made him that way.
Exactly.
Somehow.
Once he became a dungeon master, he grew the powers of awareness that we are not able to comprehend. So, it seems that we have a contender in the awareness sphere, apparently. And this is Driving and Dragons. So, let us go on and see what he's got to say.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Driving and Dragons, where we spend our time playing with, talking about, working on, and restoring both tabletop role-playing games and old cars for the benefit and enjoyment of you, the subscriber to the channel.
Sure.
It's funny that I've been doing this for a few years now.
Exactly.
And I only just came to the realization that I'm basically doing the same thing with both of my major hobbies, attempting to restore them to their former glory for everyone to get more happiness and entertainment out of them.
Interesting.
Okay, so is he, when you guys talked about him previously, was he like really big into OSR?
I don't recall that. I'll be honest.
Because just from
from the rhetoric immediately, I'm like, oh
yeah,
interesting.
I'm like, okay,
it's very interesting. A very interesting way to put it.
Yeah, let's see.
Former glory.
When was this one made?
I don't know. This was like a month or two ago, I want to say.
Oh, okay. So this was after the release of 2024.
Yeah. I want to say that it's very recent.
Okay.
So yeah, I guess we'll see. Let me see, because I can find it real quick. I want to know what it was that it'll jog my memory if I see the title of the one that we've already covered. Just to see what he had said. Driving is all they need to put. Oh no! Why didn't it come up? That's weird. I
mean, it was part of the 200th episode, right?
I gotta find the part of it then now. It might be that I didn't put the actual video in there, which would be
like in the description.
Yeah. It would be a shame if I didn't do that, which means I will go back and do that. Oh, right. It's a live video. It's not actually a video. So there's no fucking way that I was going to do that. It took forever to fucking render this shit. Yeah. Let's see. So this, let's see. That was Garibay. That was mostly Garibay. Never mind. That's not that one.
Let's run and hide quickly.
Oh, I might have forgotten to put it in there. Well, that sucks.
Oh my god.
I will go back through and fix that. That is my bad. Regardless, let us continue.
Video will be on the skill-based gaming typically found in advancement systems like Cyberpunk and Call of Cthulhu.
Oh, okay.
More specifically, how rigidly those skills need to be enforced in game to avoid role-playing, making a multitude of the skills simply vestigial.
Okay.
While it more
fair enough.
specifically applies to those skill-focused games, it applies almost equally to games like Dungeons and Dragons or any game system where there are systems to adjudicate specific skills in place. Before I get to that, I promised a big announcement on Monday's video, and here it is. The channel will be starting work on the first of hopefully many giveaway car restorations.
Ooh, that's cool. Look at you. It's a small channel, and I hope he's doing well with all of his stuff. But that is cool. I like that. So, is this a driving video? Is he a fellow Garabite?
No.
I don't think so, no. In fact, no. Oh, no, he is. That's the thing. He knows that Garibay exists because he's the one that I got the screenshot about being another person that has found out that Garibay exists.
Oh my god, yeah, that's right.
Intelligence as a dump stat, enter the Garibay. That is literally the video that is from him. Oh my god. We have such things to show you how to do correctly. Yes, exactly.
We have such sights to show. Now I need a meme where fucking Garibay is a Cenobite. Pick any of them. Yeah. I don't care which.
Yeah, exactly.
Just slap Garibay's face onto a Cenobite.
I've started a Patreon, and the link is in the description below. Patrons will not only get a say in future topics for videos, but will also get direct input on design choices for the restoration project and will get the opportunity to vote on decisions ranging from color to performance upgrades to interior design as the project continues.
That's cool.
Yeah.
How quickly the job gets finished and the car gets given away will be entirely determined on how many of you guys join my Patreon and convince your friends to like, share, and subscribe and sign up themselves. Because this is all funded by channel revenue, and all revenues directed at the project and those that hopefully follow it.
Fair enough.
Once the car is near completion, sign up for a draw.
I don't know how Garibay as a Cenobite would be any different. True.
It's very fair. But it would be a different picture.
Yeah,
so.
True. It would be an edited photograph, indeed.
Yes,
indeed.
That's how it would be different. It's like seeing the Eiffel Tower in person versus seeing the Eiffel Tower in a photograph.
Indeed. Every time I see a tower in anything now, I say, "Ooh, look, we're in Paris." It's great.
Yeah,
I find it funny.
They are technically they are two different things.
Drawing will begin, and funds at that point will be diverted to a charitable cause until the deadline for entry arrives.
Cool.
This is possible far sooner than expected because of one extremely generous fan of the channel. The long story short, he reached out and offered to donate his father's old car to the channel.
Oh.
There will later be an unveiling video showing the car once it arrives here in Alabama, hopefully within the next several weeks, where I will go over the history of the car and give a more appropriate thank you and some more detail. For now, though.
That's super cool.
Yeah, I super appreciate all this. I know it's like nothing to do with anything that we're going on about, but man, is it neat, you know? I'm a big fan. These are big plans indeed. They are. And I'm about it. I really hope this guy's channel takes off. I really do. Seems like a cool dude.
Godspeed, Driving and Dragons.
Yeah.
The car itself is a 1974 Dodge Dart Custom, currently housing a 318 cubic inch V8 engine. The car has some very special previous owners and a uniquely American history that I am planning to incorporate into the design choices for the restoration itself.
Cool.
Once I determine just how much this car will need after I lay hands on it.
Makes sense.
With a little bit of luck and a ton of support from you guys, I will be meeting one of you at a convention to hand over the keys in 2026 or 2027. So head on over to Patreon and follow me, because the chance to win a car by watching this tiny little YouTube channel just became a reality. Now on to TTRPGs and how you're doing it wrong.
Cool.
When it comes to the balance between good RP and listed skills in your games.
Okay, let's think. What could that be?
Well, I think he mentioned it before, where the RP can make some skills vestigial if you go too far with rewarding it. So, it could be things where it's like, an intelligence check where you're giving bonuses for it if you happen to just be, like you guess right, or you're just talking intelligently instead of just using the skills fully, or, you're what is it? You're trying to persuade someone and you say something incredibly persuasive and they're like, okay, you know what? That's so persuasive you don't need to roll.
Right.
That type of thing, I think.
Right. Which I feel like there's a fine line, right? Of like, this is something that I want to have done in my game, of like, oh yeah, you don't need to roll for that if you have described it adequately enough to me,
And it's clear that you're trying.
Exactly. Because I find that rewarding that roleplay is much better than having to call for the skill and basically say, it's basically a pass. I'm just making you roll just in case you fuck it up. It's like, I don't know, man. At that point, it's like, well, just give it to him. We can keep going.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see specifics, I guess. And hopefully there's not a hard stance against.
There is no arbiter of the rules demanding that you as the DM make them roll.
Yes.
Like you are empowered to just say, you've earned it.
Yeah, exactly. Is this a voiceover or live audio from the car? It's a voiceover for sure. If this was live audio from the car, this guy would have like a sound booth inside of the car. Like this is this is not that.
Yeah, think of Garabay's videos and then come back to, or actually go watch Garabay's videos and then come back to here.
Don't do that.
Don't do that.
But I mean, you will grow an appreciation for this.
Yes,
for sure.
This video was inspired.
No, you know what? Better watch us watching Garabay videos. That way,
that's better.
That way you have that buffer.
Yeah.
By our buddy Lord.
You wouldn't go outside on a sunny day without shades on, right?
That's right. There you go.
Yeah.
Over on X. I saw his post and penned it for intelligence as a dump stat, but it honestly has no business there. The parts where he misses the mark.
I'm sorry. I want to know who he's talking about.
Balance between good RP and listed skills in your games. This video was inspired by our buddy Lord Mateus over on X.
No idea who that is.
I saw his post and penned it for intelligence as a dump stat, but it honestly has no business there. The parts where he misses the mark are not really misses, and it is a topic where the limited character count on X certainly doesn't allow for the nuance needed to fully explore the topic.
Well, I mean, you can do a whole like thread about it, I guess, but
we can post more.
We can just ignore that. That's fine.
Yeah.
I am honestly not sure that a single YouTube video is enough.
Nice rolling stop there, bud. Didn't even fucking stop fully. Come on.
Oh.
Either.
Officer, arrest this man.
I'm here to at least prime the pump for more discussion.
Good.
Mateus posted the following in response to a discussion about the Dragon Magazine Issue 1 article from June of 76, titled, How to Use Non-Prime Requisite Character Attributes. Quote, I'm open to using skill systems, but they must be rigidly applied. E.g., if you have a fire starter skill, then only people with that skill should be able to do it. The real problem with these systems is that there tend to be too many skills for every little action that could be roleplayed. Unquote.
Why?
Yeah.
Yeah, please no.
I guarantee both you and I are equally qualified to like spark a big lighter.
Exactly.
Yeah. Like, come on now.
It's the thing that we ran into all the time in 3.5 where it was the lockpicking thing, right?
Yeah,
which to be fair, that is specialized enough that I'm okay with it, but there is a point for some of these things that it's like, well, you should be able to do these kinds of things, right?
Yeah.
Sleight of hand, that was the one that was more contentious.
Yeah, it was sleight of hand.
That's what it was, sorry. So sleight of hand is something that I feel like anybody could be able to attempt.
Yes.
It's not something that you necessarily are going to be good at, but I feel like you can at least try.
Yeah.
And like I you could in 3.5 you could take the you could make it so that you unlock the skill basically by just spending 2 points on it, so you could try whenever.
Yeah.
And then you could have it as a skill. I think it I don't know if it continued to be 2 points per point after the fact. It's been a hot minute.
I think it stays 2 points per level until you get to a certain threshold, at which point it increases.
Okay.
I'll be right back. I need to use the restroom. You guys keep going.
Yeah, no worries.
Jack of all trades, enjoyers, stay winning.
True. That feat does kind of take away that whole issue. But
take it every time and put points into perception, worry free.
Yes, exactly.
What class do you want? You can still have perception, don't worry.
Yeah, exactly. So it's I guess we need more context because it depends on what he's gonna say. Because I'm already like,
He does have a point. But he's venturing into the territory where gamist/mechanical players mishandle skill systems, both in games where there are other leveling ability or class structures, as well as games where the skill system is the sum total of character abilities.
Mm-hmm.
That is, determining just how rigidly skill systems should restrict player abilities in the game versus how much a character's ideas on a role-playing level should allow them to influence their environment.
Okay.
To use his example, if there is a skill called fire starting, should a player character have any chance of success without points invested in that skill? Does it make a research skill irrelevant if a PC can simply accomplish the task with a high intelligence score? The answer is sometimes. Not a very satisfying answer, but unfortunately, it's the truth.
Yeah, no, okay, good. We're on track. Because that is absolutely the case. Sometimes, yes. 100%. Which is why you do things at your discretion at your table. Okay. As long as we're on the same page of that, we can continue. Huh. Scare me.
For skill-based...
I know, he led into that pretty strong, didn't he?
Yeah. But to be fair, he was quoting somebody else. So that person was into that perspective.
Oh, no, I mean, but that person was leading into pretty strong.
You're right. If he's reading, this has to be pre-recorded. True.
The game master has to be able to appropriately adjudicate.
Hey there, New Englander. We Midwest and South types love our rolling stops. You're a danger to the road. Stop.
Fully.
Yes. Please. For at least 3 seconds. That's what I was taught in my driver's ed course.
Alright, 3 does seem a little excessive to me. I'll settle on 1.5.
At least to a full stop. Let's at least go there. That's
if you stop and like actually take the time to genuinely sweep right to left across an intersection.
Yeah, that takes I think 3 seconds or less, I think. So,
which actually I learned this recently. Scan right to left if you want to like actually pay attention to your environment. Most people scan left to right. Like if you're thinking about looking through the environment, you're probably thinking of going left to right
Mhm.
because we read left to right. We're conditioned to process information beginning at the left and ending at the right. But because we go from right to left when looking around in our environment, it's unnatural and thus like makes you pay more attention.
Interesting. Yeah, what I was taught by my driving instructor was to go left, right, left. So you do both, basically. So and that's how I do it, and I haven't died yet, so I guess I don't know.
Well, you beat me there.
Yeah, well. It's not our fault we can see that no one is coming a mile before we even get to the stop. You know what? True. You do have like the flattest fucking land, I guess, in a lot of cases. So,
Yeah, I'll concede that.
I will also concede that. Okay, fair enough.
All right, actually, let me ask, how are your cities then? Do people do these rolling stops in the cities still? Because, like, if the cities are rife with rolling stops, then we're back to square one.
True. But maybe everyone can't do magic trick level sleight of hand, but they can probably do Bilbo slips the ring into his pocket level sleight of hand. Yes, exactly. That is exactly the case.
Kate, where the
Point of order for that is from Dave. Bilbo was hired specifically as a burglar. That is true. I don't know. I'm 2 hours from any city. Oh, well, there you go. So you're fine where you are. In your town, you're okay. The city, if that's the case, and everybody's rolling stopping, we got to start cracking down a little bit. We got to start telling people, hey, man, there's a stop sign there.
line between skilled and unskilled use needs to be, and there is no one correct answer, even within the game systems themselves. This becomes an almost Sisyphean task when poor game design leads to either skills
Good
too vague
adjective
or
choice.
too defined, such as an encyclopedia of skills as minute as key turning and stair climbing, or a quote skill-based game that operates entirely on a handful of attributes that could all arguably apply to just about any skill, like is found in so many of the one-page RPGs on the market. Now, I'm going to focus this video not on game design, but on running existing games, and I will generally assume that the game is reasonably well designed for these purposes.
Fair enough.
However, I will throw in this little design advice tidbit because it applies to the GM on a smaller scale in some game systems. When you have the task of determining how refined or abstract skills in your specific game need to be, you need to strongly consider your setting and genre. In a Dark Ages fantasy game, having more than a dozen individual skills for different kinds of polearms and swords makes a lot of sense. However, in a modern setting, melee weapon heavy and melee weapon light is likely more than enough, as the number of sword fighting specialists in your hard-boiled detective adventure isn't likely to warrant different skills for longsword, rapier, arming sword, saber, and tool. Likewise,
this is very, very hard agree. Absolutely. Like it depends on your system. Absolutely, and your setting. Makes total sense to me. I don't think actual cities really give you much opportunity to do rolling stops. You'd say that, but
I don't know. I drove through Chicago.
Having gone to Chicago and seen the traffic there, yeah, that makes sense.
There isn't likely a need for any scientific knowledge skills beyond knowledge science in that medieval game, while a sci-fi adventure would need 4 or 5 knowledge-based skills just to cover the basic operation of a medium-sized starship, to say nothing of all the different situations that might arise in a world where there are 4 branches of physics alone taught in high school. Being selective about what skills are used and which are either omitted or combined into more broad single headings is half the battle when it comes to effectively applying skill systems in your games.
Mm-hmm.
When dealing with skills in game, whether I choose them or they are simply the skills that the game says exists, I tend to rank them into 3 broad categories: general skills, specific skills, and specialty skills. General skills are those things that cover stuff that just about anyone should be able to do or figure out without any kind of training, but for which training can clearly improve the results.
Drive auto. It's one of the ones in Call of Cthulhu that I will always point to for that kind of thing that everybody understands. Like, yeah, we always get the joke of that comes up from people who see it for the first time and go, Drive auto? You're telling me if I don't have any points in drive auto, that means that I can't drive my car very well? It's like,
Nyuk, nyuk, nyuk.
nyuk, 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 nyuk. It's like, ha 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 ha. No, that's not what that means, but I get it. Ha ha ha. So stuff like that. It's all of the things, like even in Call of Cthulhu, you get a 20% at the very beginning for drive auto because it's like, well, yeah, you can drive a car, and guess what? In a dangerous situation, you might actually be okay. Like a black ice is on the road, and you start skidding around. Roll your drive auto. You're a regular person who's never like tried to drive any better than his day-to-day commute. You'll probably you might be okay. They might make it so that it's pretty easy for you to actually get there because they give you like bonus die and shit. Like it depends. But if you're maybe they won't because first off, it's Call of Cthulhu, so that black ice might lead you to a really bad path that would be great for you to go down. But you get what I mean. So all of those kinds of things are already kind of baked into something like Call of Cthulhu. I think firearms in Call of Cthulhu as well as Delta Green, everybody starts with like a base 20% because it's like, well, you can point a gun and shoot. Like that's fine if it's, if it's something that's there, but it's just in those stressful situations that it really applies.
For general skills, an attempt should virtually always be allowed, with the skill largely determining the degree of success, not so much the success or failure.
Yes.
In many cases, general skills could be included as segments of more advanced skills or simply left as raw ability checks in their most basic applications.
Sure.
These are skills like jump, search, spot, listen, run, swim, gather information, carouse, computer use in a modern setting, things that are so commonplace and so simple that they are either instinctive actions or they can be easily figured out even by someone with lower than average intelligence.
Sure.
Just for a reference point, these skills often have a base success chance of 15 to 20% in Call of Cthulhu.
There we go. There's the mention. We're good.
Training, no advantages. There's just a 15% chance that you can successfully intimidate someone. General skills, like these that fall into they fall into the easy part of the GM's job. And they are the proof positive that Lord Mateus was mistaken with his comment, if you have a fire starter skill, only characters who have that skill should be able to use it. Just because I never took even the first elementary school PE class about long jump doesn't eliminate my ability to run and jump as far as I can.
Exactly. Yes. Thank you. Good. Yes. Just keep being good at this. I like this. This is what I remember of the time that we watched the other video. Just, yes, okay, keep going.
In this case, skill points would simply represent significant study. For example, fire starting, as suggested by Lord Mateus, would not mean that an untrained PC can't start a fire. It simply means that a PC with the fire starter skill knows how to make a proper bow drill and understands the concept of building a fire from tinder to kindling to small fuel, and therefore has a far higher chance of success, often not even needing a roll for the more basic applications.
Yes, because this is the thing that I usually do with specializations and all that kind of stuff with proficiencies. Excuse me, that's what I mean. Proficiencies in D&D. If we're talking about D&D specifically, proficiencies make it so that, at least in my mind, a lot of the really basic shit is something that you can do without having to roll for it, because you have learned how to do that. You have the ability to do that easily. So why would I make it so that you can't, in this case, if we're it's not a skill in D&D. You use survival, right? Survival is a skill, and you're proficient in survival. If there's an easy, there's a fire that needs to be started and all that kind of shit, and there's no, like, adverse conditions whatsoever, a fire is started. If nobody has, like, fireball, or, not fireball, firebolt, or anything, any other way to start a fire magically as well, it's just easy to say, oh, you're proficient in that, you can do it. Easy enough. It's just those high-stress situations, again, or things that are more complicated that make me go, okay, now you can do your roll to see if you can succeed in this situation, right? Nat 1, you are on fire. That's true. But even in those circumstances, if I keep going with the survival thing in D&D, some of these things, like, literally trying to, well, it depends, right, in the situation. As he said before, sometimes is the key. So Aiden, are you trying to say something?
Oh, sorry. I was just doing copy paste shenanigans on my end. Yeah, no, my mic is set to control. I'm doing my own stuff.
I understand.
Me.
You're good. I'm just making sure. No, you were right. Fireball is the superior fire starting spell. True. Sorry. You're right.
Just to double check, because this is my first time, or like, first real time using push to talk.
Sure.
Can you hear, like, the little, like, bloop bloop on my end?
No, that's only on your end.
Cool, perfect.
Yeah.
I figured I just wanted to.
Yeah. Fair. Safely being a relative term here for for all this kind of stuff. Yeah. That is fair.
Skipping ahead, we find the other place where the GM gets it pretty easy. Specialty skills. A specialty skill is not just a skill that is honed in a very specific and detailed way. It is the evolution of a more basic skill that absolutely requires training. Computer use as a general skill can easily be attempted untrained to try and stop a program from running or find a file folder or a few levels down from the desktop. But to write even a basic program requires actual computer use training,
yes,
and likely a more specific skill.
Exactly.
Programming, perhaps. Basically, everything that falls under the umbrella of both programming and computer use is going to be the kind of advanced level task that requires specific training or education to even make a meaningful attempt.
I just realized that you beduped that to me, and my OBS never put me in the streamer mode. That's weird. So weird. Why did it take me out of streamer mode?
I don't know.
I don't know, but I'm sorry. That was my bedupe, everybody.
Well,
sorry. I usually have that not a thing, so that people don't have the thing where, when people used to do the thing where in YouTube videos they would just...
Oh, no, they still do that, dude.
I know, but it was way more prevalent before.
Yeah, fair.
It was really annoying. So that was my end. Let me... I'll just put myself on Do Not Disturb. It's fine. That way it doesn't happen again. There we go. Anyway.
The GM gets an easy job here because the tasks that require a specialty skill are often the kinds of things that explicitly require specialized education to even have the faintest idea where to begin the process. Where things get a little murkier with specialty skills is drawing the line where computer use is no longer enough to warrant an attempt, but this is still easier than dealing with the next category. Where the rubber...
Yeah, because I don't know if we'll go into it, but the example that you can pull from Call of Cthulhu as well is you can have specific checks for specific bits of knowledge, and then you can fall back on a hard or extreme education roll, right? Where that is, oh, you might have learned about it in college or school or of some sort. You learned about it in some way, becoming educated in the mean streets and all that kind of stuff. Who knows, right? But you get that as an option for a lot of checks in a lot of different modules and stuff that I've seen and I've listened to for some custom games and stuff, and it makes sense to me that there's at least a chance, but it's incredibly hard a lot of the time. So then you have that nice thing to fall back on when maybe not anybody in the party even has the specific skill that's necessary, and you've made it so that that's the case. I think that's something that for something like D&D, I've seen it done in different ways as well, where it's, somebody will have nature or won't have enough nature and all that kind of stuff, and then somebody will roll it out and they fail and nobody gets the information, and then somebody will say, well, can I make an intelligence check? And it's like, oh yeah, okay, you can do that, but it'll be a high DC, right? Same kind of thing that you see happening a lot, or at least I've seen happen quite a few times in D&D as well, and I assume Pathfinder people do that too. I don't know, but it's just a pretty easy thing to go for in terms of trying to get information across, right? If you want them to have that information, and it's not like critical information that they need to have, that you probably don't want to make a high check anyway, or a check at all necessarily in some cases,
Rubber meets the road for game masters, and where doing it wrong becomes a real possibility, is in the skills that I call specific skills.
Sure.
These skills aren't just the middle ground between specialty and general skills. They represent those skills where the gap between everyday Joe and absolute master is vast.
Mm-hmm.
These are also skills where typical use should be something that requires some level of training and knowledge, but that certain simple functions of the skill should not be off the table untrained. A couple of examples that come to mind, given the nature of this channel, are drive auto and automotive repair.
Okay.
To drive a car is a skill, without a doubt, particularly if we're talking about a car made prior to the Great Depression.
Oh, Boo, are you back?
Yeah.
Just wanted to let you know that he is not of the position that he was talking about for. He was just using it as an example of a position that is not necessarily correct.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so he's been going on about how it's sometimes the case, not always, because that's crazy.
That's good.
Yeah, no, this is fantastic as a video.
Yeah, that is nice.
I highly recommend this so far.
I also like that he's leading into drive auto. It sounds like the same way you did.
Yeah, it's true. It's true.
Mm-hmm.
I'll bring it back just a little bit.
Yeah.
In fairness, though, drive auto is probably like one of like the clearest examples that like makes really good sense to people.
Yeah, it's one of the best skills to use for the example, for sure.
Everyone knows I'm not the equivalent of like a NASCAR driver.
Exactly. Yes.
These are also skills where typical use should be something that requires some level of training and knowledge, but that certain simple functions of the skill should not be off the table untrained. A couple of examples that come to mind, given the nature of this channel, are drive auto and automotive repair. To drive a car is a skill, without a doubt, particularly if we're talking about a car made prior to the Great Depression, or when discussing performance driving or handling difficult conditions like snow or heavy rain.
Hey.
Even something as simple as driving quickly across town through traffic or driving on snowy roads would likely require a drive check and should probably require points in the skill to not result in an automatic failure for the player character.
Mm-hmm.
But what about moving a car that's blocking your path? Simply cranking it up and throwing it in gear enough to move it 5 feet.
Yeah.
Or stealing the bad guy's Jeep and flooring it to ram through a gate that's 50 feet away across flat level ground.
Right.
At the bare minimum, most of us agree that that should allow for an attempt. Same goes for automotive repair. Sure, untrained, you aren't tuning your carburetor or making a performance upgrade or repairing bodywork, but maybe you want to change the oil and you got the Haynes repair manual for the car right there.
Mm-hmm.
Written step-by-step instructions with pictures should more than likely be enough to at least warrant a roll. Because honestly, 99% of the time, most game masters wouldn't even ask for a roll to succeed at that task if the PC was trained in the skill at all. Maybe I don't want to repair the damaged bodywork. I simply want to grab the crumpled fender and bend it into a position where it's not rubbing the wheel anymore after my failed drive check. If I'm calling for a roll there, it would most likely be strength, not automotive repair.
Yes.
Because while it is technically working on the car, there is no skill involved in pulling a piece of sheet metal until it bends.
Yeah, absolutely fair.
Yeah. Just yes.
No, like I feel bad that as always we watch. Well, not as always, but we watch the video and we don't make comments on it. But like a lot of it is just like us agreeing.
Yeah, exactly. I've already said a bunch of the stuff that he said, so I'm like, you're right. Yes.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's refreshing to hear from a voice that isn't one of ours.
Exactly.
I don't think there's ever anything particularly wrong with just winding up, finding a good video, and other people finding that channel as a result.
Yeah, it is true. What I like to do, at least to hopefully mitigate leeching, is have the video be older, in that case as well. This one, when Aiden, you put it in the channel, it was like 2 weeks old, and I was like, eh. So once it got to like a month, that was when I was like, okay, this is a little bit better.
Although to be fair, I think he has more subscribers than we do.
No, he doesn't.
Okay.
Yes, but I will, of course, as always, I try to link these videos, and I feel so bad that I didn't in the previous thing that we covered of his. I will find it, and I will link it there, but I highly recommend, so far, from the 2 videos that we've watched of this guy, go and subscribe to Driving and Dragons, please. I really enjoy, like, it's just nice to have a driving video that's accompanied by sensible words, we don't get that.
If you throw him some money, you might win a car.
Yeah, exactly. There's also that. He's got like cool shit going on, and like I'm trying to give as much like additional stuff as possible just so that it's at least somewhat transformative here, but like legitimately, I would highly say and recommend, please go and subscribe to this guy.
After we covered him for the 24-hour stream, I subbed to him, and that was why I sent the video to you, Alejo.
Yeah.
But, like, a lot of the time in the video, we're just listening to very reasonable takes.
Exactly.
And just, like, agreeing, and, like, why would we interrupt the good vibes?
Yeah, totally. And, like, and I subbed to him with the channel. That's why I knew about the video that he had about Garibay. So, like, it's just, please. Sensible words accompanied by rolling stops. Yes, exactly. Well put. Yes.
Firearms use is definitely a skill that requires training to be truly proficient. But pretty much everyone can pick up a gun and figure out point hole at bad guy, squeeze trigger.
True.
They'll probably miss. But the player phrase, I grab the revolver off the table, point at Johnny hot hand and say, looks like your streak went cold, before blasting him out of the saloon on his back, should never be met with, oh, damn, that sounds cool, but dude, you don't have any points in firearms.
Exactly.
You can't shoot the gun at all.
Yes.
Throughout this little diatribe of mine, you can see all the subtle nuances involved in this discussion.
Yes.
Situations like the role-play decision to yank the computer cord out of the wall to stop a program running, not needing a computer use check, or allowing an untrained firearms check to solve a problem 2 feet away with the original point-and-click interface. And meanwhile, understanding that all the luck in the world isn't going to save you from the role-play.
I would take this a step further, actually, and just simply allow for untrained success.
Oh, yeah.
If you are pointing a gun at a person with a wall behind them, yeah, you may hit the wall if you're untrained, but you may also hit the person.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I didn't see this before, but Timothy said it's like if Hank Hill was into D&D. The more I hear it, I'm liking it. And then
Yeah, pretty much.
And then Dave says, "I cast arcane and arcane accessories."
Oh,
fuck yeah, dude, that's a good one.
that's very good.
Okay.
It's
I
good
now
stuff.
want like a wizard in a big old Texas cowboy hat.
Yeah.
Play decision to steal Daddy's T-Bird and gun it across town at 120 miles an hour. The only roll in that situation would be the GM rolling to determine how far out of the driveway you make it and whether you hit the ditch, the mailbox, the neighbor's car, or the neighbor's house in the process because you don't have any points in Drive Auto.
Sure.
I prefer skill-based games.
Yes.
In large part, it is because of the level of realism
Yeah.
that
Yes.
comes with
Yes.
the kind of game master decisions at the table. The kind of decisions that don't happen when "do you have the power attack feat" is an on-off switch for an ability.
Sure.
Mm.
Yeah.
That's what I've got for right now. Remember to hit the like button, head on over to Patreon where my Restore Auto Check could end up being your own critical success on a luck check in the future.
Nice.
Until then, drop a comment below.
Good.
Tell me where you see people doing it wrong, or inform me of how I'm a dirty story gamer who doesn't play real games because I don't let the dice and the printed rules interpreted the most literal way possible determine everything at my table. And I'll see you guys on Monday, where good old J. Scott Garibay has already shown us intelligence as a dump stat.
Yo.
Ooh.
Yo.
Yeah.
Oh,
I
there
like
it
this
is.
man.
That's the video right there. Intelligence is a dubstep in the top right.
Didn't I send that one in also?
Yeah. No. I put a screenshot of that one.
Oh, right.
But
right.
yeah, no. Oh, we'll have to check that out at some point.
Yeah.
We will have to check that out at some point for
That's
sure.
19 minutes.
Another video slamming it out of the park.
Absolutely, yeah. I very much enjoyed that video. Again. Go and subscribe to Driving and Dragons. Seems like a very cool dude. I'm super happy about that. Wizard in a cowboy hat. If Walker Texas Ranger had gotten a little more mystical. True.
Hell yeah.
I remember back during my Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough, I had like a matching blue and yellow arcane robe and like Texas like cowboy hat to match on Gale.
Fuck yeah.
That's awesome.
And then I would cast Sunlight on Gale's staff. So then he would be walking through the dungeon, like in the Underdark or whatever, absolutely radiant in blue and like bright sky blue and yellow robes and a cowboy hat.
That's awesome.
Fuck yeah.
I love that. I love that so much. Well, that was it. That's all the ones that I got for us today, everybody. We did it, everybody. We made it through, and not a bad video this time.
Yeah, not at all.
The first one was definitely fine, but this one I think is pretty good.
Yeah.
So
I actively liked it.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. I was very much a fan of it, and it's not just because he agrees with everything we said.
Yeah, we like that.
We like that, absolutely, but it's not the only reason.
I love that you frame it as he agrees with us.
Yeah. It's not that, I promise. It's not that we agree with him either. No, it couldn't be. But yeah, they'll be in the description, of course, as always, so please go and watch them at your own leisure if you wish to, in order to not have us, interrupting as much, if you want to get that full experience. But yeah, I guess I will invite my two lovely friends here to leave.
Invite
if you
them
wish
to leave.
Yes. Yeah. If you it is proper. We had this
All right.
conversation.
All right. I can tell when I'm not wanted.
I'm just I figure everybody's
Goodbye.
no.
Oh,
I figure
wow.
everybody's tired and you got shit to do, and I know I do, and I'm tired, so I give you the choice, the opportunity.
Yeah, the opportunity to fuck off.
That's right.
I get it.
Get the fuck out if you want to, I guess.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
Goodbye.
Bye-bye.
Goodbye. I'm gonna leave as well.
Okay.
Do you want to see any of Skin Deep after you finish up or no?
No, I'm gonna go back to writing. I'm feeling a hot streak, you know.
Okay, sounds good.
Yeah.
If you are up later, Boo, I might ask to join in for a stream of that.
Okay, because I'm just gonna be taking a nap here shortly, and so I might wind up waking up in the next few hours.
Okay, yeah, it would have to be then.
Yeah.
Because I'm gonna need like at least an hour.
There you go.
Yeah, that's fine.
All right, cool. Have a good one.
See
Yep,
you
see ya.
both. Bye-bye.
Goodbye.
Goodbye. Love those guys. All right. So, the new King of the Hill show needs to have Hank playing D&D now. True. Invite them to leave is a good way to say disinvite. I suppose. Comments, everybody. Comments. I got a couple of comments for you. Let me get to them real quick. And by real quick, I mean, hold on. I mean, there we go. That's what it was. All right. So, they're both from Timothy. The first one saying, hello bros, still working on lore, have a nice day. This was because we had a week in between that we did not have a show. But Timothy came back and said, hello bros, new lore. So we got some lore here. The Purple Shadow. Oh, sorry, there we go. The Purple Shadow. Talathorn was asleep in his lair when he was suddenly awoken by a booming voice from beside. From his bedside mirror, excuse me. Talathorn, rise! The copper dragon quickly popped up. Talathorn, was that really necessary, Venor? Talathorn stared at the titanic form of a purple dragon great worm. Venor, I thought you would like an update on the Moon Valley domination plan. You remember the one you convinced me to undertake? Talathorn, oh, yes, good news, I hope. Not much good to speak of. The army I was able to put together was driven off after King Cornell and Queen Veronica reinforced the Moon Valley defense, which has cost me valuable contacts in the region. I am not happy, Talathorn. Not happy in the slightest. Calm yourself. Setbacks happen. Trust me, this is the only way to stop Cornell's plans against us great worms. So you keep telling me. Another full-on attack is now impossible for the time being. The Moon Valley has doubled security. I'm forced to use more undercover operatives. I've hired an independent assassin group to handle the job. Hopefully I will hear from them soon. Some help on your end would be useful. I will see what I can do. I don't want my involvement in this project being known. That's why I wanted you to take the lead on this. I am well aware of your cowardice. Know this, Talathorn. My identity will be learned by our targets sooner or later, and I will not hesitate to let the Pink Dragon King know whose idea this was. If I go down, you are coming with me. I promise you that. The purple dragon disappeared from the mirror, leaving Talathorn boiling with anger. Talathorn, Cog, get in here now! Cog the troll jogged into the room. Cog, what? I was cleaning the damn floor like you told me. Talathorn, I have a new job for you. Go to the Moon Valley Kingdom and keep an eye on King Cornell and Queen Veronica. Tell me everything you see and hear. No detail is too small, and if you get a good chance, kill them. Cog's eyes sparkled with delight, and he giggled under his breath. That might be the best thing you ever said to me. May I give their bodies to Orcus? If you can pull it off, I don't care what you do. Get going. My pleasure. The troll ran out of the room as fast as he could. That's all I got. Have a nice day. Thank you. I love your voice for Venor. Thanks. I figured he deserved a bit more gravitas, considering I saw Titanic form. So, it seemed like it was a good choice. Anyway, that's it for comments. Thank you very much for the comments. We appreciate it immensely, of course. I will read them whenever you guys put comments on our stuff. If they aren't filtered out by YouTube's autofilter, because that is a thing that happens. I swear to you, I don't delete comments. So, there are some that have gone into the filter that have deserved it. I will say. Anyway. Moving on to shilling. Wahoo! Hey, we have a website. If you go over to our website, it's in the description. TableTalk.us. You can go and find all the information about us and all that kind of stuff, as well as the host list, the guest list, looking at all the people that we've had on in the past, our current TTRPG games, as well as the audio-only versions that you can find over here if you want to listen to them that way, as well as the past ones that we've done, as well as all the future ones that will come out. I've made a whole page for it. The digital distractions, things that we've done so far, each of the playlists is here for you to go and find and watch. It's a lot, so you can go through and look through them all if you wish to. As well as the one that is just literally everything that isn't necessarily in its own playlist that is there. Finally, support us further. You can go and look at all the stuff that I will talk about in a second. All the ways that you can support us financially if you wish to. Again, it's not an obligation. You can just freely subscribe, like, and comment on the videos to show your support. And suggest our videos to those who might have the need to watch them if they want some entertainment. Regardless, we do have a Patreon. If you go over to patreon.com/TableTalkCrew in the description right now, you can join our Patreon for as little as $1 a month and get access to things early. We've got Session 9 of Vampires out there, both the audio only and the video, that is there for you to go and, oh yeah, okay, that is there for you to go and see. It will be coming out tomorrow at 8 a.m., and the audio only version comes out at 10 a.m. On our podcasting, our actual play podcast audio only thing, which you can go and find on this. Whoa, dude, not that. Over here. You can go here and go on to like whatever you want here. These are all the services that we have it on: Apple Podcasts, Spotify, all that kind of stuff. Go and look at the Tabletop Crew, the podcast. That way you can have audio when you're driving or something, you know, if you want. I don't know, up to you. Regardless, we have this Patreon. We also have a Ko-fi, exact same tiers, exact same rewards and stuff, becoming a table flipper over on the Discord and everything. And these are our current table flippers. A big thank you goes out to Draco Kraken, Rick, aka Unit Rico, and Steely for being in tier 4. Appreciate you immensely. You can hear it in the sound of my voice. Thank you so much for supporting us over the years. We really appreciate you. And of course, a thank you goes out to Crimson Rose at tier 2. A thank you goes to you as well. Thank you. And finally, a thank you goes to our tier 1 contributor. As little as $1 a month, you can get thanked, just like our tier 1, and then thanked higher for all the rest of them, because that's how it works. I'm sorry, I've made these rules. These ones I did make. You know how people say that they don't make the rules? This is just how they are? No, I did make these rules. That's how they are. Anyway. So yeah, same thing over here on the Ko-fi. You can go and get that shit if you wish. Next up, of course, as we go down the list here of all the ways, our Fourth Wall shop, where you can get our custom dice, as well as all of this other stuff here. The coasters, the mug, the Tabletop Crew mouse pad, if you wish. There's going to be some more stuff coming soon. Soon TM, because I've got some stuff coming in soon enough, and hopefully having some more stuff coming in after that that will actually be able to be put up on here. Once I get them, you'll see them. It'll be up there. But there's a couple of things that I've got coming in that won't be on here until certain things happen, right? So go over to our Fourth Wall shop. The link is in the description. the-tabletalk-crew-shop.fourthwall.com. It's in the description. Go and check it out. Next up, of course, you can donate to our PayPal directly if you wish to. That's a way. You can also use our link, both on this site as well as in the description, to use our Humble Bundle partner link to go and get anything through Humble Bundle and give us about 5% commission. While you get whatever, that being these bundles, that being the choice bundle, that being things through the store. In fact, right now, it looks like there is a RPG Game Master book series that you might want to look at. I don't know. Use at your discretion, really. $15 for 11 things. Looks like, oh, I've seen these. I've seen these on a bunch of different places. I don't know. We've got random tables, random encounter tables, traps, NPCs, like a whole bunch of just stuff that you can just inject into games if you want. Villains and stuff. That's neat. Legendary actions. Very cool. Very cool. So go and get those PDFs if you want through that bundle. There's obviously a whole bunch of other bundles, but I'm not going to go through too many more of them because there's a lot. So go and Humble Bundle. It's one of my favorite sites. It's how I have a lot of games. Part of the reason, not the entire reason. Anyway, we also have a bunch of links on the website for drive-thru-RPG, fiction, comics, and cards. The only one that I will really go through that's really relevant is the drive-thru-RPG link. All of them are the drive-thru-RPG link is in our description. The rest of them are on our website, so go on the website if you wish. And yeah, drive-thru-RPG, we get a bit of a commission. I think it's 4 or 5% when you buy things through drive-thru-RPG using our link. It's 15 days when you click our link, so if you want to, go and do that. Daggerheart is actually on drive-thru-RPG, so if you want to buy Daggerheart through our link and support us as well as getting Daggerheart, hey, go for it, because there's a bunch of different stuff. There's official stuff, there's user-created stuff that's here, community content, that's the thing. So go through drive-thru-RPG through our link in the description, and you can get a bunch of stuff, as well as the cards, comics, fiction, all that kind of stuff as well. Those are also ways. So that's it. That's it. That's all. You know what I just realized? I never did the announcement in the channel. But I will show this. That's awesome. Oh, I love this. I love this so much. Thank you, Dave, for this for this meme. Oh shit, 7. That's the one. 7. Okay. Very funny. Very funny. I cast arcane and arcane accessories. I can't really do a Hank Hill, but that's pretty great. Thank you so much. Oh, nope, can't do it. Not right now. I would have to work on it. Anyway, that's it, everybody. We've done it. Thank you so very much for joining us for the evening. A little bit of a shorter one. In fact, we went sub 2 hours and 30 minutes. And I could waffle a little bit for the rest of it, but I won't. It'll be our shortest one yet. Again, go and subscribe to Driving and Dragons. Great channel. Really appreciate them. And all of the videos that we watched so far. I can't wait for us to cover his Garabit video at some point. It won't be next time, it'll be sometime in the future. But anyway, thank you so much for joining us, and we will see you next week. Goodbye. Have a good rest of your whatever time it is. Thank you so much. Bye-bye. Get out of here!